first job
Get the mash done, innit?
Get the mash done.
Right.
Come on, Smokey, show us how you do your mash.
Very, very complicated, this.
Joe's my gilly for the day, so he's bait boy for today. So what's that?
Stick it in there.
5 slices in a bait tub.
Yeah. Hold them down until they stop bubbling.
Stop bubbling.
Yeah. Get rid of it all. And then that's it.
How good's that?
That's it.
And that's the bait.
Ground bait done.
Ground bait done. Girls and boys, Smokey Joe.
How are we doing?
The chub master.
Chub crew, innit?
We've both been doing loads of chubbing, so we thought we'd meet up. We've got this stretch of river that neither of us has fished before.
Hang on, whoa. There might be a chance here.
Do you reckon?
Could be.
Have a go in. Look how overgrown it is.
Great, isn't it?
It's jungle, isn't it? It's jungle.
No one's fished there all year.
Go on then, go in there.
Should we go in?
Yeah. So, what we thought we'd do is we looked on the map. It's not very far for either of us at all. We thought we'd meet up. Joe's been loving his chubbing. I've been loving my chubbing. And we just have an afternoon, minimal gear, hopefully catching a few chub. It's a tiny little river, as you can see. It's covered, the banks are covered in stingers. I think what we're going to do, the plan is for us to split up a little bit. I'm going to go one way, Joe's going to go the other way, and we're going to see what we catch. Well, folks, this looks like a nice little area. Might have to bash a few nettles down. But running under a little sort of dead tree downstream. Loads of pace here. Let's see if we can get in somehow. All these nettles, get them out of the way. We only need just enough to get the rod in. And that'll be enough. Got my little rod rest. I think we'll be waiting for bites today. There's a bit of extra colour on the water, and I'm not so sure that fish are going to be chasing around in this water. I think they'll just be holed up somewhere out of the way, so I don't think we're going to be getting instant bites. Right, I've got that tree downstream. I'll tell you what I'm going to try, because I've caught plenty of fish in the past on coloured water with this bait. I'm going to try some meat. I've chopped up a few cubes of meat, and I've put a little bit of sort of flavouring on in the form of a bit of paprika, a bit of salt. I just think something that's just extra flavour in this coloured water is going to help. It's ever so soft, that meat, so I can bury the hook in it, and hopefully when we get a fish, or if we get a bite, the hook pulls through the meat pretty easy. Let's see if we can cast it downstream. We've got 4 SSG on. Looks ever so pacey. It might be a bit too shallow to be fair. We'll see. Might be too shallow, but I think it's worth a cast. Try and get the rod up so we've got plenty of line out of the water. We've got 8-pound line. Got a hook length of 0.20. Size 10 hook. Proper man's gear, this is. If we hook one, I'm hoping it comes out. Last few weeks I've lost a few chub by giving them a little bit too much respect, sort of not pulling hard enough. And obviously chub, they love to jump into a snag if they can. So I want to get on top of the fish as soon as possible. I'm hoping there's going to be some steadier water around the corner. I think it's worth trying these pacey areas, especially where the flow's quite smooth. I always find that when the flow's really boily and it's all over the place, they're the swims where you just don't catch anything. But where you've got a little run of smooth water, that's always a nice area, especially if it runs onto a snag like we've got here. My concern is it could just be a bit too shallow there. I think it's worth a chuck. My plan is to maybe spend 10 or 15 minutes in each swim. I've got some meat, I've got a little bit of bread, I've got a few worms left over. We'll just try a few different baits and then hopefully we hit on a couple of fish. So just as I thought, folks, a little bit too shallow under that swim, under that tree, I reckon. So, not a problem. On to the next swim, through the undergrowth. You can tell this little stretch doesn't get fished very often. Just looks a little bit steady around this corner. Oh, another tree in the water, this looks promising. Bit of a flat area as well on the bank, looks like someone's fished here. I think it's worth having a go. Load of mussel shells on the bank, that's not a good sign. Usually means there's an otter around. I don't think chub and otters get on very well, to be honest, but hopefully there's already a bank stick hole as well, so this peg does get fished. It has been fished in the past. Hopefully the otter's left a few chub for me. Once again, I think I'm going to go with a bit of meat just to see if we can get a bite on a bit of meat. I've caught loads of fish in the past on meat, so I think it's always worth having a go. Just cast it downstream. Seems a little bit deep off this bit, so might be good for a fish. I'll tell you what, folks, I think the tricky thing about today is going to be finding some steady water, but I think I found a swim. You can see downstream it opens up massively here. Pace has really steadied out. To me that smells it's a little bit deeper. I think it's worth a go. I've had to bash out an area to sit in and to get my rod in. I think that's going to be the case along all of this bit of river. So we've had no success with the meat. I think we've been chucking it in the wrong place, to be fair. But I think it's just worth a go on bread, just to see if we can just get off the mark with anything really. I mean, I'm guessing there's plenty of roach in this bit of river, so obviously a bit of bread's going to get me a roach if there's one around, or at least get me a bite from one. So So nice big bit of flake on the size 10. Cast that downstream. Spot on. See how deep it is. I'll tell you what, that's loads deeper. That's loads deeper. That's looking good. So we're all settled in now, in amongst the stingers. Let's see if we can get a bite. Again. I think if that taps again, I've got to hit it. There you go, we've got one. Don't know what we've got, but we've got a fish. It's not a big fish. He's a little chub. Can we swing him? Let's swing him. Yay! There's a little chub, look. Nice to get off the mark. But we're off the mark. Look at that. Cracking condition. Ooh. There we go. Cracking condition. Look how big his mouth is. First fish of the day. I'm happy with that. Let's see if we can catch his granddad. So I'm going to try for my next jug a bit of crust. I'm squashing it down. So there's still some buoyancy there, but it fluffs up brilliantly. I've caught some really big fish on that. I think that could tempt me a bigger fish, but we'll see. It's definitely deeper, this peg, so obviously finding that depth has been really important. I just hope there's a bigger fish dotted around. There you go, bite straight away. Oh, almost as soon as the bait landed. I wasn't even watching that. This might be a place for me to try my luncheon meat. Just shows that when you find the right swim, there's often quite a few fish knocking around. I'm always wary with bread that once you've had a few bites, they've ripped the bread off the hook. Obviously you want a nice soft piece because that's attractive to the fish, but quite often if there's smaller fish around, they can rip a... There we go, we've got another one. Again, not a big fish. I think he's very similar to what we've just had. Well, a little bit bigger, I guess. Oh, it's going in the edge. The masters at that. Master. Oh. Come on, mate. Well, we're getting bigger. Only slightly bigger, but they're getting bigger. Here's a nice fish. He pulled back well as well. I think what we'll do is we'll maybe try a little bit of meat in this peg, because obviously there's a few fish around. It'd be nice to catch the biggest one out of the group, and I always think meat's the way to do that. Come on, mate. See you later. Come on. We should have bashed down a few more stingers as well, give me a little bit more space. Let's try a bit of meat. This will give us a bit of confidence for later in the day, this will, because if we catch on some meat here, we'll know that it's it's going to be working in other swims. And bread is so instant, as that proved. So if meat gets the same result. Go, hit the bottom. There you go, bite straight away on the meat. God, there's plenty of fish in this peg. We've got him. Oh. Oh. See, even these little ones straight in the snags. He is a little fish. He's not what we've came for, but it's great fun. They're so aggressive as well. I'm guessing there's got to be a bigger one down there somewhere. It's ridiculous how quickly the bites are coming. Try a bit of meat again. Really soft this meat is, so I can bury that hook with no problems. Cast it downstream again, just letting it hit the bottom. I'm not expecting to wait that long for a bite. Might just hold the rod this time. There we go, this is a better fish, definitely a better fish, come on. Side hook the meat then, rather than... Oh, he's a nice fish too. Side hook the meat rather than burying the hook. Oh, we should have bought, we should have bought a longer landing net, but he's in. Oh, look at that. That is a beautiful fish. What a fish. Oh. Beautiful fish. He's only just hooked as well. He's a short fish. He's not a massive fish. Not massive in length anyway, but he's quite a fat fish. Look at that. Bit of damage there on the tail, look. I said there was a few otters around this place. He's had a hard life. Look at the mouth. Superb. So obviously there is a few better fish knocking around this area. Let's put him back. Come on, mate. There he goes. Slips away. Oh, this looks a brilliant area. Might have an area to sit as well. Might have to not have to bash any nettles down on this bit. Massive area of slack water downstream. If this is a bit of a false bank or whether it will take my weight. It's touch and go that. Hopefully we don't disappear. pretty good this does for a fish. I think we'll start on the bread again, just to see if we can get an early bite. Then maybe switch to meat, because that seemed to work really well the last swim. It was just strange. Obviously we had all those bites, then we caught that bigger fish, and then we struggled for a bite then. So got to be thinking about moving when it's like that. Cast it downstream. That's ever so deep. I'm always trying to feel what the bottom's like. I want it to sort of hit the bottom reasonably hard. I don't want it to feel like it's hung up in any weeds. I mean, if we're going to catch a chub, a decent chub, I think this is the peg. This looks the best peg so far. I'll be ever so surprised if we don't get one here. Again, I'm not feeding anything. Just going to go straight in with a bit of bread just to see what's there. I mean, I guess there's half a chance that there's the odd big roach along this stretch as well, which would be a nice bonus. To be fair, I'm happy enough with that chub we had in the last peg. Gave a decent scrap, as they all do. Bite. Oh, we've missed the bite. Would you believe it? Would you believe it? The only good thing about that is we didn't make contact with the fish, so I always feel that if you bump the fish, you're never going to catch that fish, but we didn't make contact with that fish, so he might still be hanging around. I mean, I'm using a size 10, we could probably use a bigger hook. We've had a bite, I'm happy with that. Cast it back down there, see if we can get a little bit luckier this time. There we go, we've got one. He's a decent fish too. He is a big fish, feels big in the float. Don't go under there, don't go under there. The masters at getting under the edge. Come on. Oh, yes. We've got him. Cracking fish again. Look at that. Beautiful fish. Let's unhook him. Only just hooked. It's all action when you get one, isn't it? Let me tell you. He's a beautiful fish. Probably similar size to the last one, maybe 4 pound, I'm guessing. Beautiful. Wonder if we'll get a couple from this swim. Like the last one, it seemed to have quite a big humpty back on him. Superb. Let's get him back. Oh, it's turned into a brilliant day.
How are we doing then, Rob?
Tell you how we're doing. I'm having a lovely day.
Yeah.
I found a swim that was full of fish.
Yeah.
Loads of bites.
Yeah.
And I had a load of little pup chub, and then I had one about, it wasn't quite £4, but he was getting on that way.
Yeah.
So great fun. And then I had another swim where I chucked in, it looked amazing. I chucked in, missed a bite, and then I had another one, probably the same size. Probably was £4 that one.
Yeah, nice.
Beautiful fish. You've had one, haven't you?
I've had 2.
Have you?
Yeah. I've been on a really fast section. And it's been really hard to present any bait. And wherever I've actually been able to fish, it's just been full of little fish.
Yeah.
Obviously, to come out the heavy float. So I popped to a different bit. So much steadier compared to what I've been fishing. And I've had 2 real nice fish. Like one that might have been £4 pushing. Another one about 3.
Both mine have got like a humped back.
Have they?
Yeah.
I can see there's some big ones in here, Rob.
What is this? You know how the flow is here?
Yeah.
Is that how it is on that other river? Because
5
this is
times
pacer.
5 times quicker.
Oh right.
Yeah,
you go upstream and there's a bit where it steadies out.
Yeah, no, you can't even present. Like even this, I've got an ounce bomb on it,
Have you?
and I can't even present that over.
Right.
Like the last 20 minutes is the best fishing I've had all day.
Right.
I've missed 2 bites in this swim, but it's just a bit. If you don't get a bite quick, you're not amazing.
You caught an eel.
Yeah, it's great. Isn't it?
Brilliant fishing, yeah. I've loved it.
What have you had yours on?
One big one on bread and one big one on meat.
Yeah.
Bread's my first chuck.
Yeah.
To get a bite, and then work it out from there, and then maybe a chuck on meat afterwards.
So I've just been.
Nice. Oh, this is, honestly, this is really pacey compared to where I've just found.
Well, the pegs I've caught the 2 chub, not as fast as this, but nice. And I think, to be honest, Rob, I think we've got quite a bit of water past them pegs anyway.
Have you? So you've not walked that way?
No, I just came. I thought I'd try and meet you.
Right.
Honestly, I chucked in here and the rod's just gone.
Ripped out your hands.
That's twice missed it, which is very disappointing.
Yeah, it is. It is. I've had a couple of missed bites.
Especially when it's like this, and obviously some chub feeding. It's that time of day, isn't it? We're heading on to that time of day. What your bites been?
Tap, pull,
Tap ball.
tap, tap. Then it toes round, like really positively toes round as well. No.
I had a massive drop back on the first fish. It was really fast. Obviously, I put a big bow in to keep it still, and it just gone bong, and I was like, yes. And then the next one was just a proper fall. So interesting, like learning the different bits.
Yeah.
Got it, a chance, innit?
I thought I'd get another chance after I caught that last fish.
I got 2 out of the same swim.
Yeah.
I think we've got some more water to explore there. But yeah, that bit where I've been is so
too pacey.
just shallow.
My first 2 swims, they were just way too pacey. Then you can just see the difference. Once you find some steady water, that's just where the fish are. Have you knocked this swim out?
No, it was like.
Was it? I've had to knock it, all my swims out.
The one I caught the 2 chub was like obviously a regular spot.
Really?
There's a spot behind this tree. I think you could get in there as well. A big overhanging tree down there. They're just the best fish, aren't they?
Brilliant. Hey up.
Go on then. Go on. Yeah, could be a leaf, that one.
That's a leaf.
It's a leaf bite, isn't it? current bunch coming out.
I'm going to have a look at this tree peg.
Right, okay.
So here we go. I'm losing track of the swims, but I think it's about swim 5 or 6 now. Loads of boily, horrible water in front of me. Hopefully you can see that. But then it opens out massively, and on the far side, all the flow's coming back on itself. So I'm going to try and get my rod up high and have a cast to that far side. I'm going to try and keep as much line out of the water as possible. I'm thinking maybe I might put another couple of SSGs on as well, just to try and help hold the bottom a little bit better. I think we'll be okay, but just want to make sure that we're keeping the bait still. That should be okay. So that 5 SSG, I'm guessing that's enough to hold bottom over there. Bit of bread again. Seems to be a great bait for getting a bite fast. Watch the trees above, nearly cast into the trees. Let's just see how deep it is over there. Not too bad, that isn't. Let's see how we get on. Try and keep the rod high and out of the flow. Keep the line out of the flow. Looks a natural area for fish to congregate. It just might be a little bit awkward to fish. But we're running out of spots, I think. Obviously not knowing the river, we just might be running out of spots to fish because seems to be getting pacier and pacier as we move downstream. And all the fish that I've caught, or that we've seen, have been in slightly steadier water, which you'd expect when there's a bit of extra water on the river. I mean, it's going to be fun if we hook one, because it's raging straight in front of me, so if we hook one and we're playing one in that flow there, it's going to be fun. We've got to get a bite first. There we go, we've got one. Tip was dropping back then. Oh, he's a beautiful fish. In this flow, he's going to be awkward, let me tell you. Oh. So tricky in this flow. Yeah, he's in. What a nice fish that is. That is a cracking fish. Oh. Biggest fish of the day. He wanted that. Let's get the disgorger. He definitely wanted that. There we go. What a beauty. What a beauty. What a stunner. Again, he's got that hump on his, just behind his head, look. these fish, I'll tell you what, I bet there's a big one in there. These fish seem to be a slightly different sort of chub than ones I've caught before. Look like they're quite deep bodied rather than skinny sort of baseball bat chub that I've been catching, or rounders bat chubs. Beautiful fish. What a fish. Right, I'm going to see if Joe's nearby, try and take a picture of him because he's a stunner, and then we'll put him back. Hey, chub o'clock. We've got another one. Oh, he's going to go in these. Don't go in there, mate. Oh. I've actually fed a little bit of the old bread mash. And we waited for what seemed ages for a bite. But we've got him. Oh. Another fantastic fish. Look at that. What a day. What a day. It's brilliant fishing. You just cannot knock the fishing at all. Get the disgorger out. God, he's had that. There we go. Another fish, probably £4. I mean, they all seem a brilliant stamp just as it's getting dark. I think that, unless something special happens, he's going to be the last fish for the cameras. What a fantastic day. But you know what? I chucked out straight after that fish, and before it hit the bottom, we've got another one. It just shows how important time of day is. Before it even hit the bottom. Unreal. Not quite as big, but a great fish. Shows how aggressive these fish are. I chucked in another, turned the camera off, chucked in 2 more handfuls of bread mash, Joe's amazing bread mash, chucked on top of it, and we've got a fish. Who can complain at that? What a fantastic day. Come on, mate, see you later. What a fantastic day's fishing. Well folks, that is about as much fun as you can have with your clothes on. Brilliant session on the river. Obviously it's getting dark now. Don't want to be out in the middle of nowhere when it's pitch black. Probably ended up with, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 chub. Fantastic fishing. Smoky Joe, maybe you can see him in the gloom over there.
Howdy.
Talk us through your session.
Well, I've been on a slightly different bit for most of the day, and it was a bit fast, but we still had a few fish. We've had a nice brace, few small fish as well. It's been nice, Rob. Real nice. Great fishing, isn't it?
Yeah, superb fishing. Superb fishing. So folks, big thanks to Wellingborough AC. Been fishing their water today. Really nice bit of river.
It's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, superb bit of river. Please remember to subscribe to my channel for more fishing videos. Subscribe to Joe's channel as well. Joe's got his YouTube channel. And until next time, tight lines.